My name's Simon McCrum, now of McCrum Consulting, but after a long career of fee earning, team leadership, and firm management and ownership in the legal profession. I qualified in 1990 as a solicitor, but quite quickly moved into business development and team management. And so that's really what my career has been spent doing. In 2007, I took over I went into a new firm as managing partner. That was September 2007. It was the week the credit crunch started. What a baptism of fire that was. We cut our way out of it, and we grew our way out of it. Cutting saves a few quid. Growing brings in infinitely more. It's a far more palatable, positive experience. We grew out of it actually to the point where in 2010, we had the best year in the history of the firm. And in 2013, the journey hadn't stopped. We became the fastest growing law firm in the country. In 2016, my firm was acquired and I left private practice, and I now work with law firms. And I've designed a model which I call the perfect legal business. I didn't run the perfect legal business. I now see, with the clarity of thought I have, because I don't get 200 emails a day, I now see that the perfect legal business is made up of about 10 pieces of jigsaw. No one bit is more important than any of the others. As with any jigsaw, they all need to fit together and the whole thing needs to be joined up. Today, in light of where we are, I'm kind of taking myself back to 2007 in light of what I know now. Because although we fared quite well in 2007 and came out of it flying, I probably wouldn't do it that way again because I know so much more now. So let me put it all together and hopefully we'll all get something out of it. I'm passionate about what law firms do for their clients. I'm not just a take kind of merchant. I'm all for law firms making very good money by delivering a very good, life-changing service to their personal and business clients. So let me focus on some of the parts of that and some of the parts that make up the perfect legal business that are of key, whose moment is here, because some of the stuff is more medium term and longer term, and we can look at that in later presentations. But let's look at what's important right now. And the absolute priority is cash, not profit, cash. They're very different things. And it's only when you've had the kind of baptisms of fire that I had along the way that you truly realize that profit and cash are very different things. And typically law firms, cash is made up of a number, unless you're one of the funded firms, floated firms and the like. Typically the cash, you've only got so much of it. It's made up of what's in your bank or what the bank are allowing you to use of their money, namely the overdraft. When I go into law firms now, I see something that alarms me quite often. But when I look back at my own firm, it alarmed me because I was guilty of it then. We had debtors, and we had a lot of debtors. Actually, the profit looked good from the years in which those bills had been done, but the bills hadn't been paid. Typically what that means as well is you've paid the VAT on those bills, depending on your size and depending on your timing. If I owned a law firm right now, I would be looking at debtors. Yes, you can say it's a time to be helping other people and other business clients and families through things, but your debts, the money they owe you, is your money. And a client who hasn't paid you for a long time is not a client worth keeping. The perfect legal business doesn't work for clients like that. You're not a charity. Get your money in. Do deals with them. And if they won't do it, pay now, I'll knock 5% on whatever it is. While we're on debtors, going forward, let's not make any new ones. Why do work now? I mean, I think it's slightly different because the VAT liability has been paused, but let's avoid getting new debtors in. And by the by, it's not a lot. To me, in the perfect legal business, it is not the lawyer's job to send bills out. Sending bills out can kill a firm because every bill you send out, you've got to find the VAT normally, but you're paying salaries, you're paying overheads, you're paying all these things. So the lawyer's job is not to send bills out, it's to get cash in. So I would avoid new debtors, and that begins at the start of the equation. The perfect legal business has an exacting engagement with clients, not an easy engagement, an exacting engagement. You can come into our firm as a client, provided you agree our rules. I can think of three. Number one, we are not competing on price. We offer an amazing service, we've got amazing lawyers, and we are going to Frankly, we're going to change your life for the better, but you're going to have to pay a good price. Number 2, that dear price we've given you is for a very defined area of work. Define your retainer. All too often firms end up doing, because of mission creep or instruction creep, whatever you want to call it, firms end up doing work that they should be charging extra for, but don't. So extra work means extra fees. The third thing is, instead of putting the payment, as we've kind of touched on earlier, instead of putting the payment terms in page 12 of terms of retainer, tell the client up front, we do expect to be paid. And if you don't pay us, then we can't act for you and we'll have to recover our debt. So those are the rules. Get your existing debtors in and avoid new ones arising. Now, you want to grow. If we're going to grow our way out of where we are, is that all about new clients? Absolutely not. You can get growth in revenue and therefore in profit without getting any new clients. And in fact, what you're doing in doing so is you're perfecting your model. You're getting it ready. You're making it the perfect legal business. So let's see whether, and this is a question for you, whether you are making maximum profit out of every case and every client that you have. The journey to maximizing profit on each case that you have, and then on each client that you have, is multi-stage, and quite a number of things have to happen at the same time in order for you to perfect your system here. But the first we've already looked at. The first stage was pride in pricing. Charge a good price. Next, if there's extra work, that's for extra fees. Third, instead of looking at how much your lawyers bill, or as a lawyer watching this, instead of looking at how much you bill and being, totally satisfied with that, examine instead the efficiency of your lawyers in doing work, recording work, making profit out of it. And that isn't done by looking at billing. Billing's an artificially low measurement. If you look instead at the inputs, the 2 inputs, instead of the billing output, you get a much better idea of efficiency. And you can easily see areas where you can focus on. So I had a chargeable hours target. That's the first input, or utilization is the horrible name for it. I had targets around that, but provided someone billed to their billing target, everything was okay, and any deficiency on the input was overlooked. Don't do that. Have a look at and police and reward and encourage performance on the input, on chargeable hours. Have that center stage. Not billing, and there's no point putting chargeable hours in the tank if when it comes to billing they aren't billed. So actually the measures of efficiency and the real drivers that have an incredible effect on the output of billing, the 2 inputs are utilization and realization. Make them center stage, make that part of your appraisal and reward and promotion criteria, because that will give you increased profit, increased revenue, and therefore increased profit on cases you've already got. You can change it tomorrow. In firms that I work with on these things, they typically change across all lawyers, across all teams in month 1. It's perfectly possible. But don't have the data lost in multi-page, multicolored spreadsheets. Bring out these key performance indicators. Now do we move on to new clients? Still no, because there's another major opportunity for law firms to grow without winning another client or another case. I've been in rooms of partners at law firms where I've said, put your hands up if you've got a case on your desk or under your desk or in your cabinet that you cannot get round to working on. Everybody usually puts their hand up. Then when I say, how many of you have got 5 or 10 such cases? Most people put their hands up. But everyone still rubs their hand when a new case comes in. Well, when a new case comes in, all that means is yet another case is going to be put back in the cabinet. Law firms have typically got too many files, not enough lawyers. You don't need more files typically. Spread the work around. What happens then is a lawyer who relinquishes a volume of cases to new lawyers that you've just recruited, say, is typically no less busy. And instead of spending 5 or 10 minutes on a file, they can spend an hour. They can spend the hour the file needs. Who's happiest? The answer is the client. If you've ever been the client of a law firm who gets your bill accompanied by a billing printout and you see the incredible number of one-unit charges and you work out that actually typically a unit doesn't take a file anywhere, but it might have cost me 25 quid plus VAT, you realize that people are snatching time on your files, not doing quality time. Spread the work out. Of course, that goes against a culture of individual ownership of files, individual ownership of clients, and individual billing targets. Make it a team culture and spread the work out. So there you've now got growth in cash, you've got growth in the inputs of utilization and realization. More work is being done on the existing files you already have. There's growth. That's growth with no marketing cost, no marketing risk, no competing on price, no trying to win new clients that are going to demand extra value, secondments, free seminar, whatever. It's already in the bag. Now, do you need new clients? Guess what? Still no. Every client you have, whether it's a personal client, a family client, or a business client, will over the next 5 or 10 years maybe, will need 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 areas of law. Most people have used a lawyer, but there's not the same number of people can say will say, I've got a lawyer. We're not very good at developing relationships. All you have to do is look at the letters that any one of your team sends out to any team in your firm sends out to a new client. It typically says, in my case, it would say, Dear Mr. McCrum, re your employment case, say. Why doesn't it say, Dear Mr. McCrum, as our letters used to say, Dear Mr. McCrum, thank you for instructing our firm. We're here to look after you and yours for a long time to come. Whatever it is, please ring us. That is an immediately different message. And then extend care. Don't cross-sell. Cross-selling doesn't actually work. I had a lifetime of trying to get cross-selling to work. I had unlimited time. I had unlimited budget in money to try and make cross-selling work. Believe me, it doesn't work. Cross-caring is a different ballgame altogether. It works magnificently. We did it. Cross-caring works. Deliver a great service, every lawyer, every time. You start breaking down the barriers. Engage centrally. Our letters were all about welcome to our world of care. And then you can start working proactively. I haven't met many corporate lawyers or commercial real estate lawyers or employment lawyers who have gone out of their way to make sure the directors of their owner-managed business clients have got all of their personal affairs in order. That's not caring. What an incredible opportunity to care. And now the moment for that kind of care has come. A lot of law firms talk about a free health check. I haven't seen many do it. And actually, sometimes it's paid, it's in an email. When it's your whole way of caring for clients, though, we aren't going to stop talking about you getting your terms and conditions, your shareholders agreement, your employment contracts in order, because we can save you a fortune. That's what it's all about. The fortunes you could save for all your conveyancing clients, your matrimonial clients, fortunes in terms of trauma, in terms of cash, in terms of delay, by helping them get all their affairs in order. That's what law firms do best. No one's better placed than us to do it, and we should be doing it. Without winning a single new client, you can enhance your cash position. You can enhance your profit position. You can enhance your standing position with your clients because they don't see you as selling, but as caring. And you can do it proactively. Until you've got those things sorted, I would say don't be over-obsessed with winning new clients. The perfect legal business gets all of this ready, and then it brings new clients in. One of the reasons it can then easily bring new clients in is because some of the things I've looked at there are differentiators that are more powerful than anything you'll see on any law firm websites. None of those mention awards, growth, Legal 500, whatever, which are most of the things you see on law firm websites. That's about care, great service, every lawyer, every time, looking after you for the long term. That's what we do, and we do it better than anyone else. Thank you.